it's a no. I mean, I've talked about this piece many times, but pronouns are rohypnol. They need you to go with their preferred pronouns or accuse you of misgendering them because it's all part of the delusion. You have to participate in their delusion. It requires like sort of the first step in disillusioning you that gender is real, that sex is real. And so you go down that path, and it's a very slippery slope, as I've talked about at length now since I sort of decided not to do this. All right, that brings me to Dave Chappelle, who he's been so good on this issue and so fearless right from the get-go. He lands this. The audience, I'm sure you've seen it, but the audience, just wait for it. Wait for the end. Listen.
When they said cut, this nigga was still Andy Kaufman. So much so that everybody on the crew called him Andy. I didn't know any of that. I just went there to meet him, and when he walked into the room where we were supposed to meet, I screamed, "Jim Carrey!" And everyone said, "No!" Call him Andy. In hindsight, how fucking lucky am I that I got to see one of the greatest artists of my time immersed in one of his most challenging processes ever. Very lucky to have seen that. But as it was happening, I was very disappointed. Because I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, and I had to pretend this nigga was Andy Kaufman. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
So good, that's it exactly. Why do we have to participate in their delusion? That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and that actually is part of a broader sort of reshaping in Western society, which is that I am my feelings are me, and therefore, if you deny my feelings, what you are doing is erasing me. This is why you hear this sort of language used all this time. It's erasure language. If what harm does it do if I call you by your biological sex and you believe you're not a member of that biological sex? Normally in life, if you call me something I don't believe I am, all right, like, okay, you're wrong, I mean, and we all sort of move on. But this sort of obsession with what other people call you, again, it goes to this idea that the only part of you that's important is your sexual identity and your feelings about that thing. And so if somebody denies that to you, it's an actual imposition. It's a microaggression against you. That's dangerous thinking, obviously.
You've got the trans insanity, you've got the border insanity, and